Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 is a 2014 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics superhero team of the same name, produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Picture. It's the 10th film in the MCU, directed by James Gunn, who wrote the screenplay with Nicole Perlman, and features an ensemble cast including Chris Pratt, Zoe Zandler, Dave Bautista, Vin Diesel, and Bradley Cooper as the titular Guardians, along with Lee Pass, Michael Rooker, Karen Gillan, Djimon Hounsou, John C. Reilly, Glenn Close, and Benicio del Toro. And what is this film all about? Well, brash space adventurer Quill finds himself in a quarry of relentless bounty hunters after he steals an orb that is being pursued by Ronan, a powerful villain. To evade Ronan, Quill is forced into an uneasy truce with four misfits: gun-tooting Rocket Raccoon, tree-like humanoid Groot, enigmatic Gamora, and vengeance-driven Drax the Destroyer. But when he discovers the orb's true power and the cosmic threat it poses, Quill must rally his ragtag group to save the universe and call themselves the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, the film premiered in Hollywood on July 21st, 2014 and was released in the US on August 1st, 2014, and it became a critical and commercial success, grossing $773 million worldwide and becoming the highest-grossing film in 2014, superhero film in 2014, as well as the third highest-grossing film of 2014. The film was praised for its humor, action, direction, soundtrack, visual effects, and action sequences. And the film received Academy Award nominations for VFX and Best Makeup and Hairstyle. And what do I think about this film? Well, before I watched this film, I had no idea what these guys were about. I was like, Guardians of the Galaxy? Who the heck are they? I had no idea who it was. All I saw was a talking tree, some raccoon, a green chick, and some dude who doesn't wear a t-shirt throughout, and a dude who I remembered from that TV show sitcom. And I was like, this isn't gonna work. This is not gonna work. I thought it was gonna be really corny and stupid. But I watched it in the cinema on a really hot August afternoon with a bunch of my friends who I haven't seen in a couple of months. I watched it. It was like the first movie I watched after finishing my part-time job when I was 16, and it was like I needed something to just, get out of that phase of like working. And the cinema was packed. It was so packed. We had to sit at the very front row. We had to sit like the row in front of the front row, the very front, and it was the weirdest position where I had to watch a film. Our necks were completely craned up. It was so weird. It was one of the strangest movie experiences I've ever been to. I've never watched a movie like that before. It was so weird watching it up close, to be honest with you, but I think it really helped, and I think I enjoyed it a lot more. This film was surprisingly phenomenal, and let's talk about the good of this film. And the good is that the fact that the film was good. I didn't think it was going to be good, and it was good. I absolutely loved the whole story of it. I loved the way it started up with it. I loved the starting up with young Peter Quill at his mother's bedside, and he gets adopted by aliens, and I don't know, just that whole setup was just so cool, and I thought it worked. And then we had him introduced, and then him dancing, and it's just so phenomenal. I love the soundtrack. I love the songs James Gunn picked in this film. All these classic songs I haven't heard since I was a little kid. It's remarkable how memorable these songs are. They're really great songs. A lot of these songs are songs that I remembered as a kid, but they were like those type of songs you would never always hear on the radio. It was like once in a while you would hear that as a kid on the radio. And that song for me was 10cc, I'm Not in Love. When I heard that song, it just took me back to when I was 6. It was like, oh, I remember this song as a kid. And I absolutely loved the whole film. I love all the characters. The characters in the film are great. I love all the cast who play them. Chris Pratt, Peter Quill, is this funny, arrogant guy. Zoe Zandler is this kind of badass chick who's kind of reminds me of Black Widow at times. Dave Bautista is this guy who just wants vengeance. But he is so funny because he takes things so literally. It's really funny. I love how literally he takes things. Vin Diesel as Groot, who has one word throughout, is this lovable big tree guy, and he's so great. Bradley Cooper as Rocky, he's one of my favorite characters in the Guardians. He's so funny. He's very, very, very unlikable at sometimes because he does things that a lot of people would find unlikable, but he's funny. I do like him. And just great. Michael Rooker as Yondu. I love this character so much. He is another great character. Karen Gillan, remember Amy Pond back from Doctor Who? Yeah, that's Nebula. I couldn't believe that was Nebula. I was like, oh my lord, that's Nebula. What? That's little Amy Pond, Amelia Pond. What would you know? What would you know? They all did a really good job portraying these characters who I had no idea were about. But I just thought it was so great. The visual look of this film was also really great as well. I loved the fact that it was set in space. It was the first MCU movie to be set entirely in space. So at times it had this kind of Star Wars-esque feel to it. It felt very Star Warsy, which is probably why I really enjoyed this film. It felt very Star Warsy because, I don't know, maybe this is why I got into Star Wars, because of Guardians, because I watched this film, then after this film I started getting to the Star Wars films, and I was like, I like Star Wars because of Guardians. And I just like the fact that it was set in space because we get to see different planets, we get to see different people, different societies, like the spaceships. I just love the whole aspect of it being set in space. It really, really strengthens it because it being set in space, it just, Earth is kind of boring, to be honest with you. I'm sick of seeing Earth buildings being blown up, but seeing it set in space is just, it was great. It was a great risk, but it worked off, it paid off, and I love it. I really do. Now, this is my mixed aspect of the film, and it's more so to do nearly negatives, but mixed. It's the humor. This film has some really funny moments, some moments that literally I was bursting out laughing, and a bunch of the people in the cinema were laughing as well. But the humor doesn't always work. There are some moments in the film where it kind of goes like, what? And even sometimes I feel like for a PG-13 film, some of the humor is very adult. Like, there's a lot of swearing in this film, and that was the one thing that surprised me, was the amount of swearing in this film. For a PG-13 film, for a movie, a Marvel film, in the cinematic universe, it has a lot of cursing in it. Some of the cursing, I was like, whoa, I was quite taken aback by it, you know. I was like, golly. And yeah, anyway, I still like it. I think it's really great. But my negatives of this film is definitely the villain. Ronan the Accuser is a boring villain. He is the commander, he is a renegade Kree commander, and he's in charge to retrieve the orb for Thanos in exchange for the annihilation of his mortal enemies. And he's a boring guy. He's played by Lee Pace, and he just does a boring performance. I don't like this guy at all. He has a boring look, a boring design. I would have preferred if Yondu was the villain, to be honest with you. It would have been a much better story, you know. Thanos is barely in the film as well. He's just like, and honestly, it's just, that's the only gripe with this film. But this film is a fun movie. It's action-packed, it has a lot of great visuals, has got a great humor, it's got great visual effects, great soundtrack, a great score, and it's definitely one of my favorite MCU films. And with that, I'm definitely going to give Guardians 1 an 8 out of 10, and I'm going to give it a B+. Go check this film right out now. Check it out right now. But thanks for watching this review. Please like, share, and subscribe to more Marvel and Disney reviews. And with that, thanks for watching. As always, a Boydude review signing out.